Despicable Me could very easily be considered one of Illumination's better projects with fun characters and silly slapstick. Also, the first movie was, well, their first movie. This was way before they realized they didn't have to really try to make any money. Also, I have nothing against Illumination personally. I see a ton of videos coming out now talking about how much they hate this company. To me, they're just okay, very mediocre, which is totally fine, but with animation studios continually pushing the boundaries of this medium and storytelling, mediocre just isn't cutting it as much. Besides, the fate of the Mario movie is in their hands. They can't mess this up. Anyways, the Despicable franchise has usually been pretty consistent. As mentioned before, the first movie was good because it had a lot of heart. The second movie was in the same ballpark of quality. The first Minions movie came and it was decent, though it did seem to mark a slight decline in the movies. But by the third movie, the franchise seemed to be running on fumes a little. The humor wasn't as good. It's like it only existed because they needed a third installment to make a trilogy. Also, holy guacamole, that too. But a big reason these movies make so much is the relentless advertising. You feel like you're literally being held hostage until you watch the dang movie. Jurassic Dominion has been the latest runner-up in this department. Yeah, that joke was way too easy, I agree. But as long as marketing and money is to be made, I'm pretty sure these little yellow pills will never leave us. But surprisingly, Minions: The Rise of Gru isn't that bad. Okay, you can stop. Okay, I said that's enough. This time around, it's the 70s, and young felonious Gru, okay sure, is looking for his next big break, which just so happens to be a group of supervillains, the Vicious Six, who are looking to replace one of their old members. Of course, they humiliate Gru at his interview because he's literally a child. He steals a powerful Chinese artifact from them, which one of his minions of course gives away unwittingly. Gru is then kidnapped by the older member of Vicious Six to get the stone, while Bob, Kevin, and Stuart, as well as a new minion, Otto, journey out to rescue Gru from the clutches of evil. So yeah, there is a ton of stuff going on in this movie, which is why it's separated into 3 separate subplots, only for all of the stories to come crashing together at the end. To be fair, the Despicable movies have never really been about plot, but more about the eccentricities of the different characters, which is still pretty good here. Even as a child, Gru is still mischievous and also kind of soft at certain points. I was surprised by the nice bond he formed with the old supervillain, because for Illumination it surprisingly didn't feel forced. The new characters in comparison to old Illumination are designed well and often funny, if not a bit one note. Though I absolutely loved Master Chow, the acupuncturist who teaches the minions kung fu. The movie also doesn't mind pushing the minions aside, sometimes to allow for the development of Gru and his origin story, something I'm sure many people won't mind. But back to the humor, it's honestly been a while since I've seen a movie that's so aggressively cartoony, and I've kind of missed that, with so many recent movies being obsessed with realism. It's refreshing to see a film that's just unapologetically silly, and I really do mean it. This movie takes slapstick and cranks it up to 11. Though I can maybe see some people finding this movie a little too crazy and erratic at times. But besides the convoluted plot and the mad underuse of young Nefario and Gru's mother, I mean come on, she was one of the funnier parts of these movies. I oddly enough didn't feel the same chemistry between Kevin, Bob, and Stuart in this movie in comparison to the last one. Also, some scenes move a little bit too fast, like the climax where the minions are transformed into furry animals and all of a sudden become powerful and stuff. I would like to say this is one of Illumination's better movies, though that may or may not be saying a lot. I could see them trying to do a few new things, but hey, baby steps my peeps. So yeah, it's just extremely silly, straightforward fun, but definitely not anything you need to see in theaters. If you do end up, catch a matinee like I did. Though we can still only hope that the Illumination gods will give their sweet blessing to the Mario movie. Plumber on, my friend, plumber on.